Happy Pokemon ZA release date! Well, I guess it happened a couple of days ago if you watched this at the time of this video being released. I'm excited to play the game soon, but for the moment, let's go back in time to a time where Tepig was also a starter. More specifically, their very first time being a starter, Pokemon Black and White. Is it a solid Pokemon to have in a Unova journey? Is it the right starter to pick? Let's find out! First, we have availability. Obviously, since it's one of the starters, you have the ability to get one right out of the gate, making its availability pretty great. However, you only get one starter, and that means you miss out on the other starters. So, if the chance that you wanted to have a Tepig and another starter, that would have been not possible. Unless you trade one from another save file, which is not something everyone can do. Technically, it's the earliest availability a Pokemon can have, but because of its conditions, I wouldn't say it's the best availability for a Pokemon. Evolution-wise, the Tepig line is pretty solid and actually a pretty useful one with its evolution timings. Tepig evolves into Pignite at level 17, and once it evolves, it gets the fighting type, which is pretty awesome, considering Tepig will evolve just as you face Lenore's normal types. And then Pignite evolves into Emboar at level 36, ready to destroy all of Bryson's Ice-type Pokemon. Nothing special, I wished maybe it evolved a bit earlier, but compared to most Unova Pokemon, I guess evolving at level 36 isn't too bad. Now let's get to the stats. Now the Tepig line has the usual boosted stats that every starter has in every game, making them slightly more powerful than your usual Pokemon. As a little Tepig, it's got solid physical attack, which will make it a great Pokemon to traverse the early routes and just spam tackle to any Pokemon in your way. Once it becomes a Pignite, its physical attack becomes even stronger, and with now an assortment of physical moves, you will definitely hit like a truck. And you also get decent special attack to do some damage, but I'd recommend staying with the physical attack for most situations. And as an Emboar, both attack stats are quite amazing. Its defenses in every stage could be a bit better, but the whole point with Emboar is just attacking full force before your opponents have a chance to swing at you. If there's a genuine concern regarding this line stats, it's that you keep the Pignite for the span of 5 gym leaders. And while it's got solid attack, it'll dwindle drastically as it goes. And yeah, a lot of Pokemon share this problem, but compared to a Pokemon like Krokorok, who's got noticeable lower stats, Krokorok has faster speed, which means it has a higher chance of defeating the enemy quicker, despite having not so great defenses. Sure, Pignite might have high HP, but stack that with both defenses being in the lower levels, so it's nothing out of this world. Still good though, but still, its overall stats aren't the best if you're facing an opponent that Pignite doesn't have super effectiveness, especially compared to other Pokemon who evolve by the time you get to the 4th and 5th gym who could be safer choices. But maybe it's got super effective moves. Time for a moveset. As a little Tepig, most of your problems will be solved by Tackle and the later Flame Charge. Unless the Pokemon is weak to fire, which during the time you have the Tepig won't be that common, you shouldn't really use Ember. Your special attack isn't great. It's unfortunate that Pignite doesn't really learn many great moves. You can switch out Tackle for Takedown, but other than that, that's kind of it level up wise. I guess you could learn Rollout for a couple of battles, but it's going to be a high risk, high reward type of deal. But it's definitely worth having for those situations. Heat Crash, you learn it so late, and with Pignite weighing basically nothing, it's not even worth it. TM wise, you could replace Rock Smash with Low Sweep once you get the Surf TM in the Wellspring Cave, but even then it's not all that. You could learn Poison Jab once you get the Surf TM in Route 6, but other than that, you don't really get any extraordinary moves. But again, this is the Pokemon you're having for most of your journey, so yikes. Once it becomes an Emboar though, you learn so many amazing moves. Assurance is an amazing move that with your slow speed will hit like a truck, considering it does double damage if you hit first. Flamethrower is just an amazing move to have. You can learn the Brick Break TM in Icarus City, and you learn the Wild Charge TM in Victory Road, if you're feeling risky, you know? It's a shame Emboar's fighting type isn't used to its full potential. It could have been a great fighting type Pokemon, but even then, it's an amazing Pokemon. It'll be great against all of Lenore's Pokemon, all of Berg's, Clay's Krokorok and Excadrill, but really be careful, all of Skylar's with Rollout, all of Bryson's, all of Chantal's, but really be careful, all of Caitlyn's, but again, be really careful, and all of Grimsley's. Emboar is very much a high-risk, high-reward Pokemon, but honestly, sometimes it pays off to play risky. And okay, I hear some people saying, what about Heat Crash? Emboar's a pretty heavy Pokemon, so it should be able to do crazy amount of damage if it uses it right. To some Pokemon, but it's so not often that it's not even worth it. Based on the Pokemon you face off as an Emboar, which is starting the Icarus City Gym, here's the amount of damage Emboar will do to them without counting type advantages. 5 times the amount of damage, quadruple, triple, double, and basically the same amount as quick attack. Now ability-wise, Emboar doesn't have anything extraordinary. It has Blaze, which is the standard ability for fire starters, which raises the power of fire-type moves by 50% when it's in a pinch, which I would criticize, but with Emboar being already a high-risk, high-reward Pokemon, if you do find yourself in this situation, it could really come in handy. Especially if you decide to give it Wild Charge, a move that deals recoil, it could get you to the point where Blaze kicks in much quicker. So, maybe it's not that bad? Emboar is honestly a really great Pokemon. It's got solid availability like any starter. Its impressiveness will be like a U-turn once it evolves into a Pignite, but once it becomes an Emboar, you'll be back at your peak. And even then, that U will not be that defined. It's a very strong Pokemon both in physical and special attack as it grows, with some solid HP stat even if its defenses are a bit low, and it's slow as hell. While its moveset looks a bit basic, once you delve into how effective it is, it's actually a great moveset. And it's got an ability that only enhances what a high-risk, high-reward Pokemon it is. Emboar is definitely for those that do not play Pokemon in the safest of manners. It's all about going full force in fights, no second doubting yourself. I wonder if Emboar is going to have a similar effectiveness in Pokemon ZA. I guess we'll wait and see if this prediction aged really well. But for those that are on the fence on picking Tepig for Black and White, honestly, it may be the best starter to pick.